It's time for the best after party in the state. This is the Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame Show.
Not sure how much of an after party I'd call this, but an after party nonetheless. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame, brewed by Coors Light, live from the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison Studios. My name is Colin Russo, joined by Adam Mertz and former Badgers Chris Orr and Brad Nortman. The Badgers, an upset in Pullman for the second straight year against these Washington State Cougars. 31-22 final. Badgers, an ugly first half, a strong third quarter, and a very odd fourth quarter. A lot of back and forth, a lot of questionable decisions on both ends, and some questionable refereeing. We'll get into all that. We want to hear what you have to say. 844-770-3776. The Badgers lost. Your thoughts on it. What was the biggest problem tonight? We'll go with outside the referees. What was your biggest problem with the game tonight? Was it energy, game plan, adjustments, coaching, talent? Let us know. 844-770-3776. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is presented by Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose the beer that's as cold as the Rockies. Cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do. And that's Crush Your Coors Light. 2023 Cold Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Now, I'm with two former Badgers. I want to start with Chris Orr. Chris Orr. Outside of the refs, we'll leave the refs out of it for now. We could do a refs complaining show till the cows come home. Chris Orr, the biggest problem with the Badgers tonight in this 31-22 loss at Washington State. What was it in your eyes?
Oh man, I think the list that you just rattled off, I think you can say it was all of those, to be honest. But I think the most glaring issue that I had was the game plan, to be honest. If I'm being real, this loss, you can't say that it was a talent gap, because when there's a talent gap, it's always what you would see from a game is, man, we're always in the right position. We just can't keep up with these guys. You would see guys just getting mossed or whatever. We can't seem to tackle a running back. He's breaking 4 tackles every run and breaking us off for 20. But that wasn't the problem today. Today we saw guys shrieking wide open. Even on plays when Washington State didn't connect, they were shrieking wide open. We saw no running lanes for our backs. The one positive was Tanner Mordecai. He can sling it. But at the same time, from a play calling standpoint offensively, it didn't seem like we were trying to set ourselves up for success.
There was not a lot of rhythm.
Exactly. We didn't build on anything. It's not like usually when you go into a game, especially from a coach's perspective, especially offensively, you have your first 10 to 15 plays scripted. It's like, well, this is what we're running. Let's say we get a touchback from our own 25, no matter what. These are our first 15 plays, depending on how they play out, whatever. But these are our scripted plays. This is what we're going to run. And in those 15 plays, you usually you're setting your chess pieces. You're moving your queen or you're moving your pawns in a way to set yourself up for success. Either I'm going to show these type of runs, and then we have this play action game off of it, or I'm going to show these type of passes, and we have this run to counter it, or these other pass concepts to counter it as well. You just didn't see that today. It seemed like, even from a play calling perspective, we were going with the flow, and we didn't have any true
identity
confidence
with the game.
Yeah, we didn't have any true identity, any true confidence. Like, Brad, I know you can attest to this, is when you're a player, usually you want some inner confidence, like some true confidence coming out of the week. And that confidence comes from the game plan, understanding the game plan, watching the film.
You see the vision.
Visualizing and understanding the plays that are going to come. It looked like out there we were trying to catch confidence. Like, we got our confidence when Washington State was backed up into their own territory, and they kind of fell apart on themselves. We didn't create any turmoil. They kind of fell apart themselves, and then we got some confidence. We put some good drives together, ended up with some points, and it seems like that's the only time that we were playing with some juice behind us. Outside of that, we were chasing it the entire time. So my issues, honestly, I think you point towards the staff in this loss because, man, we had great quarterback play. We ran the ball good enough. It's not
a lot, but
not a lot. Yeah, we didn't even run it that much in order to really say, oh, we established this run game and these backs should have done X, Y, and Z, whatever. I didn't see too many dropped balls, and honestly, the ones that were dropped were like, man, it would have been a great play if you caught it, or like, we need you to make that. But the understanding is there that it just wasn't set up for you. So that's why I say this goes to coaching. And then defensively, we're only rushing 3, so Cam Ward is sitting back there picking us apart. And what you should understand as a viewer is that when we're rushing 3, that means we have 8 people in coverage. So the thought would be, oh, they can only have 5 eligible receivers run routes. We have 8 people for them. We have them outnumbered. Yeah, sometimes it works like that. But in all actuality, you're giving the receivers and the quarterback time to find the windows and the pockets within your defense, and that's what Washington State did all night long. Mm-hmm. We started to have some success defensively when we started bringing some pressure and we started bringing guys from off the ball, all of these extra hats that we have looking at the quarterback. We actually started bringing them to the quarterback. That's when we had success defensively.
Third quarter.
Exactly. Third quarter is when we got our big surge. But, yeah, I'm going to put this on the coach's staff. Game
plan is Chris Orr's biggest problem. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day post-game brewed by Coors Light. Adam Mertz, I want to shift to you. Outside of the refs, where would you attribute the biggest problem with the Badgers tonight in this 31-22 loss to Washington State?
Chris and I had a lot of conversations about that off the air, about what he was talking about, the game plan. That really stuck with me. But the other thing that killed me is just the energy level.
Yeah.
And we talked about this on the pregame show about this is a hornet's nest. You knew it was going to be a hornet's nest coming in. And yet there was just not a lot there. There was there was not a lot of confidence emanating from anyone. I didn't feel like on either side of the ball.
Yep.
As you said, it was sitting back defensively. Offensively, the line, especially in the first half, was just not getting the job done. I mean, we saw what happened with Jack Nelson getting beat twice.
Oh, 2 terrible plays.
That's your best lineman. That's your best lineman.
Yep.
Left tackle.
Yep.
And that's where you want your best lineman. And he gave up 2 very huge plays in the first half and put you in a big hole.
You can't even put that on Mordecai. He got destroyed from behind. 2 plays, 2 drives in a row.
For sure.
And they couldn't get anything going on the ground. Tanner went out and proved it in the third quarter. I think that was the big question mark too, of like, how are they going to defend Wisconsin?
Yep.
And it'd still be stack the box until you can prove otherwise. He did in the third quarter.
Yep.
But once again, maybe that should have been more of a target early then to soften it up.
That energy level, it wasn't channeled. Brad Nortman, lastly, I want to shift to you, a former player from you as well. Outside of the refs, it's easy to put it on them. We saw what they did in the second half. We'll get into that later in the show. The biggest problem with the Badgers tonight outside of the refs?
Well, there's a lot of blame to go around, and I think it's the lack of being ready schematically and mentally, and I put that squarely on the coaching staff.
Yeah.
The coaching staff is in charge of getting your mind right, your mind and spirit right to go out there and play like a man, and then also to put you in the right position schematically that you can have success. Then go. Then players, you go play. And neither of those happened, and that was reflected in an absolutely dreadful first half, where neither of those, they were not ready to play. We're not ready to play. Washington State was. And it seemed like there was just a ton of confusion, right? I mean, defense, there was gaping holes.
Especially in that first half.
Especially in the first half. There was gaping holes. You had people running free. It seemed like there was confusion.
Illegal substitutions.
I had illegal substitutions, totally. So just across the board, we looked confused. I mean, as an alum, and as a player and as a fan, quite honestly, I'm disappointed. I don't know who this team is. Yeah. I'm watching the Wisconsin Badgers, and I don't know what I'm watching.
A lot of similar questions year by year.
This is not what I'm used to seeing. This is not what I should be seeing. This is not what 30 years of program building should result in. It's like I see the motion W and the red and white, but this is not the Badgers I know. And I'm sure we're going to touch on this. Guys, this is eerily similar to last year, right? Kind of a slow initial start, win, but a team you should kill, and you didn't quite do it. You come out flat with, riddled issues and dumb mistakes all throughout the game, and you lose to Washington State. I can't even believe it. And this was all the things that we were supposed to get over the hump and turn a new page. It's the same old story.
Same old story for the Wisconsin Badgers as they fall on the road. Second game of the year, 31-22 final at Washington State. Jake Dicker takes down the Badgers again 2 years in a row. Luke Fickell loses his first real road test on the road. 31-22 final. We want to hear what you have to say. A lot of problems with this Badger team. A lot of problems with how that game went. Let us know. What was the biggest problem with this Badger team? Was it outside of the refs? We'll keep the refs out of this. Was it energy level, play calling? What was it? Let us know. 844-770-3776. We're going to be taking phone lines all night. Talk, text, let us know. 844-770-3776. Joined here by Brad Nortman, Chris Orr, Adam Mertz. I'm Colin Russo. We want to shift to the phone lines. Bill and Madison. Bill and Madison, you're on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. What was the biggest problem with the Badgers tonight outside of the refs?
All right, so first, I called last week and I defended the Badgers after everything. And I said, we won by 3 touchdowns, and that was a big thing. And we looked terrible today. The biggest thing outside the refs was everything. At least in the first half, we came out with nothing. Our defense looked terrible. Our offensive line looked terrible. You already touched on the left tackle. He needs to ride the bench.
Yeah.
And it was just we never got the running game going.
I'm not hearing a lot about the
passing
coaching
game
staff, Bill. The coaching staff deserves a lot of flack here, too.
I believe you're correct. And you touched on everything. I mean, you guys hit on that. I mean, when the team comes out and looks terrible, that's on the coaching staff the whole first half. And I thought we made some adjustments. And then, the refs, we're not touching on that. But I believe you're right. And we lost some momentum, and we just looked terrible. And, I would say the 2 positives, if I could touch on that.
Yeah, go for it.
Game, our kicker looks good.
Amen.
Special teams were solid.
Specialist.
And I loved that play on the goal line where they pitched it way out to the left, and there was nobody there.
Yeah, great play.
Those were the 2 positives of the game.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything else was garbage.
Yeah,
And I owe you guys an apology because I came in here last week and I said, we won by 3 touchdowns. What are we talking about? We're looking good. And then we come out and totally, whatever in the bed.
Yeah, it was an ugly one.
And
Bill, thanks for the call. And you touched all the bases. You're completely right. There's a lot of issues, especially in the offensive defensive line. We're going to be breaking it down. We got the text lines open. We'll get into this. I'll take this one before break. We got a little time here. I hope I'm getting this right. Is it Augie in Madison? You're on ESPN, Wisconsin College Game Day. What was the biggest problem with the Badgers tonight outside of the refs tonight? What would you say, Augie?
Well, outside of the Pac-12, what are we doing on the 2-point conversion here? Why are we running speed option? We haven't run that all. When have we ever seen that in the last 20 years from Wisconsin?
Yeah, I agree. So that 2-point conversion was a big play in the game. That was the biggest problem with the Badgers tonight in your eyes?
The play calling at the yard line, it was.
Yeah, and thanks for this call, Augie. Like 100%. Nobody's talked about that yet.
Yeah.
Nobody's talked about that yet. And you're on a point there. Like that was not the best play call in the world.
Mordecai had a hot hand, right?
Hot hand.
So it's like, why don't we just keep on connecting with receivers?
There was a couple times in the game where I thought Mordecai could have capitalized on his heat. He was the one. He was the flamethrower there.
Yeah. You want to know something that I think is we're starting to see that I don't think we've touched on enough is that when you get a new coaching staff with the bulk of your players returning and you're making such a drastic change schematically, you have to morph your last scheme a little bit. You have to morph it a little more. Even something as simple as, everybody's like we're hard on Jack Nelson and the O-line play, but you got to understand that this is night and day for them.
Night and day.
This is completely night and day for them. They went from being sideboard together with tight ends and they got a fullback and a running back dotting the I behind them to now it's just 5 of you and you're essentially on the island.
Yeah.
There's not much that we can do schematically to help you out because we have 4 wides. So and then even defensively moving to the 3-3-5, which is what we're majoring in heavily. We have some guys playing defensive line who were recruited originally to play outside linebacker in a 3-4 scheme. So I would love to see us our staff, this isn't on the players because that will go back to the staff and basically say that, hey, we need to do some more stuff that these guys are used to, that these guys were good at, before.
Yep.
And morph it with what we're trying to do going forward.
Yeah, we were a little under the impression that we would get sort of a mixture of different schemes.
Yes.
And so far, Chris Orr says it, we haven't seen it. That's Chris Orr, Brad Nortman, Colin Russo, Adam Mertz with you next 2 hours. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame live here at ESPN Madison Everlight Solar Studios. ESPN Madison ESPN College Game Day postgame. I just watched the same game you did. Give me a break. Brought to you in part by Bruner Realty. Do you need help buying or selling your home? Contact the team at Bruner Realty today. For over 30 years, they've been providing excellent real estate and management services in the Madison area. Go to BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started today. Bruner Realty, homes to appreciate. Let us know what's the biggest problem with the Badgers tonight. 844-770-3776. We're taking calls. We'll be back after a quick break. Taking more calls. Let us know. 844-770-3776. It is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day on Wisconsin On Demand is brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, helping you achieve your financial goals with confidence, care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today.
Dwayne Nolden is the owner of Middleton Power Center. They have HP network printers from James Imaging Systems. Dwayne, the James slogan is your local office technology partner.
You know, we've got the power is our slogan. So we take care of people.
And James Imaging Systems takes care of you and your people?
Yeah, yes, they do. I always have my rep I can get a hold of, so there's always somebody. So it is kind of a partnership.
James Imaging Systems, HP printers, predictable printing costs, local service, even antivirus protection.
Endpoint security, which is antivirus stuff, which can come through computers now, or through printers and computers. So they monitor that for us as well.
Dwayne, do all the benefits of having HP printers from James Imaging Systems add up to a good value?
Oh yeah, very good value.
Experience the benefits of HP printers from James Imaging Systems. Call 608-221-3457. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
I really do believe that he allowed his frustration and irritation with Goody to impact how he went about the rest of his job, and that is a big factor, along with a broken thumb that nobody seems to care about, in how last year went.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Grassland Dairy, Hallman Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
Is your yard ready for fall? Pick up the essentials during Fleet Farm's Fall Yard Prep. Get everything you need, like Scott's Turf Builder Winter Guard Lawn Food, on sale $49.99. Get 5 bags of Scott's Triple Shred Mulch for just $10. And all poly tarps are 20% off. Plus, shop our wide selection of cleanup gear, like rakes, wheelbarrows, power equipment, and more. We have what you need for your everyday life. Fleet Farm.
2023 is a very special year for Goodman's Jewelers. We're celebrating 90 years of serving the greater Madison area. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Needless to say, that's a long time and a lot of great memories working with you, our customers. During these 9 decades, we've never deviated from our pledge to you, which is earning your trust, delivering top-notch service, and a selection that's second to none. Discover firsthand why Goodman's Jewelers is truly a destination worth reaching. 220 State Street, goodmansjewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Life has its moments, times to remember and share. Make the most of those special occasions by visiting Goodman's Jewelers at 220 State Street. John Hayes from Goodman's Jewelers. We're here to help you make that perfect selection for your memorable moment. When you think of diamonds, you hear about color, cut, clarity, and carat weight. We can help you understand that. But we're equally concerned with earning your trust with the quality of our selection and our service. GoodmansJewelers.com, in the heart of downtown Madison. Truly a destination worth reaching.
If you're looking to fill the vacant space in your commercial building, the local agents at RE/MAX and the Preferred Commercial Group are eager to grow your bottom line. Head to commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN and find an investment partner to lead the way to your property dreams today.
Your drive home just got a lot more judgmental.
Sean Clifford will never do anything of significance in the NFL.
Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton. Weekdays from 4 to 6 beginning September 11th on 100.5 ESPN.
One and one, the Wisconsin Badgers fall in Pullman, 31-22 to Washington State. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame. We got you for the next 2 hours. Live reactions. Let us know. 844-770-3776. Colin Russo, Adam Mertz, former Badgers, Brad Nortman, and Chris Orr joining you. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light, but also brought to you by Iron Jock. Iron Jock believes it's what's on the inside that matters. Iron Jock is the advanced performance gear and apparel that is designed from the inside out. It uses state-of-the-art technology guaranteed to provide odor-fighting protection for as long as you own it. Go to ironjock.com to start shopping today. Well, he used to be the producer of Rutledge and Hamilton. Things have changed here on this very station. Alex Strofe, the host of Mr. Irrelevant, a podcast launching this week. Mr. Irrelevant, Alex Strofe. We got you on the air now. What was the biggest problem with the game today with the Badgers? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm glad you didn't start clarifying that with besides the referees. I forgot we were doing junior varsity radio, college radio here. What are we doing? How are we not going to discuss the referees? That was garbage, Colin. Absolute garbage. I mean, number one, Cam Ward had his knee down, and then the ball down in the end zone. And the very next drive, they called a fumble when Chet Malusi did not fumble the ball. The officiating was garbage. That aside, as we want to do on this program, apparently, we'll throw the officiating aside. Hey. The offense played like trash in the first half. They played like absolute crap. We can put that aside. The second half, they were making a nice comeback, and then the officiating comes into play. I just want to know from you, why are we not bringing up the officiating? It was awful.
Please, Chris.
Hey, Strofe, I have a question for you, man. You ready to be a grown man now? Are you ready to be a grown man instead of some little boy crying about the game?
Chris, I'm not on the field like you, man.
Listen.
I understand you're going to hit me with the, hey, I was a player. I understand that you got to get your licks.
No.
I understand what the referees say. It was garbage.
Strofe.
It ruined the game. The referees should never be a topic. They never should.
It was 24-6 at half. It was 24-6 at halftime.
And not only that, listen to this, Strofe. We had more total yards than them. We had more passing yards than them. We had more rushing yards than them. We had more yards per play than them. We had more first downs than them. We had one less third down conversion than them. They converted a fourth down. We didn't. We ran one. Hold on. Keep listening. Hold on. Strofe, I'm not done.
The only reason they don't have more points is because of the referees.
Strofe, I'm not done, Strofe. I'm not done, Strofe. Because the numbers tell the story of the game. They punted more times than us. And you want to talk about the refs? They had more penalties for more yards than us. You want to know where we lost the game? 3 turnovers. And even if you take Chez's fumble away, 2 turnovers. And then 2, if you want to talk about the safety, you know who you should really point the finger at? You should point the finger at Coach Fickle for not burning his time out to try to get them to overlook that. That's where you should point.
I don't disagree with Chris.
That's where you should point
the finger. You know the game
at.
better than me. I'm not going to sit here and disagree with that. But I'm going to sit here and tell you, if you're going to run a post-game show talking about the game, you can't sit here and tell me.
You want everybody to make you feel better.
Here's your problem, Strofe.
They played the biggest role in the game.
No, they did not.
Ruined the game.
Alex Strofe joining us here. Alex, listen, you're sitting at home in Sun Prairie or wherever the hell you are. You're sipping a couple Coors Lights. Of course you're going to say the refs are the problem. We all saw the refs. They made a couple bad calls that changed the impact of the game. I completely agree.
You're ignoring the problem.
Should I get 6 callers in agreeing in unison that the refs were the problem? Yeah, no. Yes, Joe, what do you think? Yeah, the refs were the problem. Thanks for the call. Alex, what was your problem? The refs were the problem. Oh, Alex, excellent insight, Alex. Let's move on.
You want somebody
Matt,
to hold your
hand. What do you got?
Oh, the rest were the problem? Thanks, Matt, for the call. Give me a break, Stroke. I'm done with that.
Was the problem, but thank God for a five-star kicker who's actually putting points on the board. I understand the offense had nothing going in the first half. I'm not disagreeing with that, Colin. The offense has problems, and those can be addressed in latter weeks. But the referees took the game from the Badgers. The momentum was all in their favor. They had a safety and then a fumble, both of which should have been in their favor. That's absolutely bananas to me. It's the most corruption I've ever seen in my entire life. The Pac-12 is failing, so here's Washington State saying, here's a couple bucks, we'll give it to the referees. on the side.
Stroke,
I mean, I don't know what you want me to say here. I don't know how you can host the postgame show in Madison, Wisconsin, and say, "Hey, man, yeah, let's ignore the referees. Let's ignore the corruption."
Did you watch the game?
Yeah.
Did you watch the game?
Washington State was the better team today. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, there's no
I mean,
doubt.
even just
I'm not
watching the
disagreeing
game.
with that, Brad.
And there's
We're
no
going to do
doubt.
a 5 days a week show. We better focus on the main topic.
And there's no doubt that the refs played a negative impact on the game for the Badgers. But what's football 101? What's team culture 101? Is that you should win so much so if you're the 19th ranked team in the country that the refs aren't even a factor in this game.
Two calls.
You should do so much so that you should put the refs in. They're a non-factor in the game.
Yes.
And we did not do that. We did not do that at all. And there are so many other people to blame. But the refs did suck.
Alex Strofe, thank you so much for the call. The very passionate Alex Strofe, sitting in Sun Prairie, sipping some Coors Lights. Hopefully he enjoyed the game. It doesn't sound like he did. But that was Alex Strofe who just joined us. We get the phone lines open. 844-770-3776. Let us know. Biggest problem with the Badgers tonight, excluding the refs. We know the refs were bad. We would be happy to talk about it on top of that. But here was the problem. There were a lot bigger issues at hand than the refs today. We shift to Fort Worth. Scott in Fort Worth, welcome to ESPN College Game Day. What were your biggest problems with the Badgers tonight outside of the referees?
I don't know how I'm going to follow Alex. That's what I'm worried about now. But
don't worry, the refs are out of the picture.
Not with what he said. I thought it was just a lack of energy, man. I mean, I was depressed. I just kind of gave up as soon as Mordecai got stripped and they ran in for that touchdown. I think it made 24-6 at the time. I thought it was coaching. How do you not have energy game 2 into the Fickle regime? It's supposed to be like an era of excitement and a new era. And you would think that it's just supposed to be, the height in the offseason. In 2 games in a row now, they just come out like flat as Kansas. It's just horrible.
Horrible.
Flat as Kansas.
I love that.
So good.
I like that. I might steal that, Scott.
Chris made a good point. Like, a lot of guys maybe are out of position, and maybe he doesn't have his guys there that he maybe wants to recruit to run his style of offense and defense. Maybe he's just kind of working with what he's got left over, from Chris. But I don't know. But it's just dead. I'm so disappointed, man. I'm just deflated.
I get it. I get it, Scott. And thank you for the call. And you know what? You're right. Energy is a problem. And where can you attribute that to? We were talking about it earlier. Probably the head coach. Luke Fickell era, 31-22. Lost to Washington State, 1-1. We got one more caller here before we cut to break. John in Sun Prairie. John, your biggest problem with the Badgers tonight outside of the refs?
Honestly, I got to say, I don't know if I'm the only one who doesn't recognize a single name on the defense, but that is the biggest problem.
The defense. Just totally the defense. You don't recognize the name. It's not. Is it the play calling or is it the defensive talent?
Honestly, it's the talent that's just lacking. We're letting the quarterback run all over the place. It's terrible performance.
Yeah, terrible performance from the defense. Thank you, John in Sun Prairie, for the call. Open up the phone lines, 844-770-3776. Let us know the biggest problems with the Badgers tonight. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day rolls on, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you in part by Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, who are not winners tonight. The Wisconsin Badgers won't. But where do you are? If you go if you are a winner? You go to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. But go be a winner at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, the casino with the highest payouts in the area. They're open right now and stay open until 2 a.m. on Monday. Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. More spins, more wins, more fun. We continue the phone lines, 844-770-3776. We're also going to give out a drive of the game if there is one, but I think there's an obvious one. We'll get to that and more next. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Braylon Allen here. When I'm running, tackling, and scoring touchdowns, I'll give you one guess what I'm wearing underneath my jersey and pads. That's right. Iron Jock Performance Gear is with me for every yard, every sprint, and every lift in the weight room. This is by far the best athletic apparel I've ever worn. Join me with Iron Jock Nation and get yours at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
This summer, Coors Light wants you to retire, even if it's only temporary. Take a break from your 9 to 5 for 9 holes of golf. Trade those spreadsheets for a bingo card. Or swap your office chair for a water aerobics floaty.
Cool noodles up, everyone!
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement. Coors Light, made to chill. Copyright 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Spectrum TV customers, you have lost access to Disney's unrivaled portfolio of live sports on ESPN, like college football and Monday Night Football. Live sports and news coverage, plus kids, family, and entertainment programming, all gone. Take action now and tell Charter you want your networks back. Go to keepmynetworks.com to learn more.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Grab an ice-cold can of Celsius Fantasy Vibe and experience a refreshing blast of sparkling mandarin marshmallow. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks are the perfect way to beat the heat all summer long. Find Celsius Fantasy Vibe at a retailer near you or visit Celsius.com to learn more. Grab an ice-cold can of Celsius Oasis Vibe and experience a refreshing blast of sparkly prickly pear lime. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks are the perfect way to beat the heat all summer long. Find Celsius Oasis Vibe at a retailer near you or visit Celsius.com to learn more.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Gold medalist Matt Hamilton, judgmental Jim Rutledge, and Hamilton.
The season is not make or break on Jordan Love being good or not. It's make or break on finding out what Jordan Love is. It doesn't matter if Jordan Love is good or bad, because at the end of the day, we need to know, is he the guy going forward or not?
Rutledge and Hamilton, with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton. Presented by Coors Light, weekdays 2 to 4 on 100.5 ESPN.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand. From LA to Piscataway, this is your college football scoreboard update, driven by Metro Ford of Madison.
What is up, Wisconsin? I'm Hunter Vaughn, and in the Big Ten, we had some teams that actually were able to come away with some wins today, as number 2 Michigan won 35-7 at home over UNLV. It was the same exact score that number 5 Ohio State had as they took down Youngstown State. Penn State put a wallop on Delaware, winning 63-7 at home. Well, at least Nebraska lost, though, as they were on the road at number 22 Colorado. The Buffaloes winning 36-14. And Purdue won on the road at Virginia Tech 24-17. That game went final only about 2 hours ago when it kicked off at 11 o'clock because of weather delays. The Iowa Hawkeyes won in Ames, taking down Iowa State 20-13 to win the Cy-Hawk Trophy. Michigan State won at home over Richmond. The Spartans are now 2-0 after a 45-14 victory. And Northwestern got their first win on the year. They're 1-1 as they won 38-7 over UTEP. Maryland won 38-20 at home against Charlotte. Minnesota winning 25-6 over Eastern Michigan. And Rutgers won 36-7. We've got more reaction right here on ESPN.
Metro Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Learn more at metrofordofmadison.com.
Touchdown. Stone and Jackson, stone cold. Touchdown, Cougars.
(31-22) Washington State over the Wisconsin Badgers in Pullman this evening. Luke Fickell, era begins 1-1, one home win. I'll go over Buffalo. One road loss against Washington State. It's ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light, and also brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money and save the planet. Ditch the energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. As a local company based out of Madison, they will be there with you every step of the way. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, check out everlightsolar.com. ESPN Madison College Game Day postgame. Colin Russo, Adam Mertz, former Badgers Chris Orr and Brad Nortman. We want to get your thoughts on this game. What was the biggest problem with the Badger team tonight? Outside of the refs. Let's leave the refs out of this. We know the refs are the problem. Was it energy? Was it game planning? Was it coaching? Was it talent? Let us know. 844-770-3776. Text lines are open. Talk lines are open. Call in. Let us know. 844-770-3776. Guys, we alluded to it earlier when we were talking about preparedness. And there's sort of a definition I kind of want to get from our two former players first about coaches' roles. Mm-hmm. The three big coaches on the roster, on the staff. Mm-hmm. The offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator, and the head coach. And Brad, I want to ask you first, sort of where does the responsibility, I want to say, lie in terms of what we saw today with the Badgers?
Well, there's plenty of blame to go around on the coaching staff, but if we're going to look at who's responsible for who, you know, if you look at what a football team leadership grid looks like, right? Mm-hmm. You've got head coach at the top. But the head coach really, except for like Coach Crispy who's calling plays, but with Coach Fickell, you're not really involved in the game plan. You might bump your head in here and there. Right. You might check in. Maybe you're used as a resource. Yep. You're a supervisor. And like you're like the chief emotional officer, right? You're the chief like leadership officer, the chief vision officer. You're supposed to like take these young men and these coaches and you're supposed to shape them, put them in a vision, and then get them ready to play emotionally more than anything. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where I guess I'm disappointed with how things have come out for both games, right? I mean, we had all this hype, we had all this energy, and we're like, wow, Coach Fickell's an amazing motivator. Yep. He's amazing at getting hype. Mm-hmm. These guys are excited to play for him. Expectations are through the roof. Mm-hmm. But we haven't seen that translate to the field, so I'm trying to figure out what the disconnect is. And yep. I'll let you guys touch on, you know, offensive and defensive coordinators' roles, but from a head coaching standpoint, it's more of a figurehead, and it's more of getting players' heart where it needs to be. And I'm watching these Badgers teams, and I'm not seeing a ton of heart on the field, which is a little bit concerning, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I'd piggyback on that with the roles of your coaches. So from a coordinator's perspective, you're just like a mini head coach, to be honest, of your side of the ball. So you're responsible for getting the game plan, all of that, you know, giving the guys confidence in the plan, understanding where the plays will be made, how we're going to call this game, what we're setting up, that whole 9 yards, right? But outside of that, your job is to echo whatever the messages are from the head coach. And I think that coaches take two different approaches. So you have coaches like, or who we think Coach Fickell is, who he's the motivator. He's the guy everybody's going to look to. And I know that when I was playing at Wisconsin with Coach Chris, the difference was he liked to give that to the players. He liked to give that to whatever leadership board, captain, whatever.
Said unemotional guy. Yeah, that's what they said.
Whatever the case is, but he was like, the thought was, this is your team. You guys have to go play. The emotions led from you will have more merit than coming from me. And understandably so, especially once you see, like, when you know his personality and all of that.
That's a different style.
Yeah, it's a completely different style. But with Coach Fickell, there's no real excuse. Like, Coach Chris kind of had the excuse of, I'm still kind of the offensive coordinator. Like, I'm still calling the plays. Coach Fickell doesn't call the plays for the offense or the defense. So his job is solely to get whatever message that you want for that week, however you want your guys to play, whether that's tenacious, energetic, which is stuff that you want them to play like anyway, every week, no matter who your opponent is. And that's stuff that he's preached in the media when he does his press conferences and all of that. We just didn't see it at all. And then at the same time, I would have loved, now there's no cameras in the locker rooms and all of that at halftime, but I would have loved to even just see some of the emotion from him on the sideline. I would have loved to see him go get to his defense, even if it's not getting on guys, just building them up by saying, man, great job, great stop, just giving them some of that energy back. You don't necessarily see it. I understand, you're locked into the game and all of that. You gotta mediate the game or whatever, but I would have loved to see him breathe some confidence into those guys, especially at the times where we had none. And we were fishing for it.
Fourth quarter.
Yeah, you can see the guys fishing for it. You can see them fishing for the confidence. It helps when it comes from your coaches a little bit as well. Like, I'll even point to Coach Leonard. Like, we would get confidence when we saw him celebrating a 3-and-out, even if it wasn't glorious and somebody got some big PBU or sack or whatever. Yeah, even if it was ugly, we just got the 3-and-out. To see him celebrating breathes the confidence into us, saying we're doing our job, we're doing something right, everything's still working, even though it's not reflecting maybe on the scoreboard or whatever positioning we're in on the field.
Yeah. That's Chris Orr, Brad Nortman, Colin Russo, Adam Mertz joining you. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day presented by Coors Light. We're going to get into the drive of the game right now. Should be an easy one.
It's the drive of the game.
He's got the corner, and the Badgers touchdown answers quickly.
On ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
The Badgers punctuating and pulling away.
The drive of the game is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers, helping guys score for more than 25 years.
I don't think we have a plethora of choices in terms of drives in the game. Mertzy, I want to start with you. Drive of the game, I think we're all going to agree with you, but take a stab at it.
Yeah. I will say that the first drive of the third quarter and getting that touchdown, or second drive of the third quarter and getting that touchdown, getting on the board was huge. Huge. But the one that we'll all think about and remember is the one that brought the Badgers within 2 points. The one that was capped by that ridiculous rolling left throw from Tanner Mordecai to Skylar Bell. It was just incredible all around. Skylar Bell on a dead sprint the whole time, never gave up on that play. Tanner Mordecai looked like he was throwing the ball away out of bounds, and instead it was perfectly placed right on the boundary, and Skylar Bell pulls it in for what could have been the game-tying score.
Yeah, and
Mordecai under duress. Stone running after him into the end zone. Caught. Touchdown Badgers. Bell. Ring one up.
And, following that play, a spotty call on that 2-point conversion obviously did not get converted. I think he took the ball out of Mordecai's hands, which is he was the hot hand there. If you go through that drive, 5 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Pass complete to Skylar Bell for 7 yards. Pass complete to Skylar Bell for 6. Pass complete to Bryson Green for 41. Tanner Mordecai run for 10 yards. And Tanner Mordecai obviously passed to Skylar Bell for a 16-yard touchdown. That was a Tanner Mordecai masterclass of a drive. That's where a little confidence was breathed into me about the quarterback position. And honestly, at that point, I thought this game was ours. Washington State opened up this second half with 1, 2, 3, 4 plays, 4 drives that ended in a punt. The energy was there. We completely deflated soon after that.
Yeah. Well, and that's where it's really interesting about a team's identity and DNA when they face adversity. Okay? And adversity was what happens when you don't get a safety call that you should and you get a fumble. And so I wanted to see how this team responded. And I wanted to see how we respond. We talked about this in postgame last week. How does this team respond on the road when you're the only ones there and it's you against the world? And so far in adversity, this team has not responded like they should. And look, I mean, it's coaches and players, it's both of them. But that's a real thing. Like, you're going to face adversity throughout a series, a game, a season, and the best teams plow through it. I mean, plow through it. And this team has not done it. They're almost shocked when it comes their way. So I mean, it's hard to watch, and it's frustrating to watch because there's more talent than there than they're showing.
There's more talent than they're showing, and I think that's going to be a theme of what the coaching staff says to the media. We'll try to get some quotes later in the evening. We're with you for the next hour and a half. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame, brewed by Coors Light, also brought to you by Celebrations Entertainment. With Celebrations Entertainment, planning events has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, non-profit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable events. We'll get into more. We'll get some tweets. We want to hear from you, too. 844-770-3776. Let us know. Biggest problem with the Badgers tonight. Are you worried about the coaching staff? Are you worried about the play calling? Are you worried about the talent? Let us know. 844-770-3776. We get into some tweets of the game next. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
At Starion Bank, they pride themselves on being a super community bank. Small enough to show they care about you and the communities they serve, while being large enough to make big things happen. With 3 Madison area branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona, Starion Bank is here investing in your community while offering valuable personal and business banking services. Start your experience with Starion Bank today by going to starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Hi, it's Eric from Canopy Wealth Management. We're an independent, fee-based firm specializing in customized investment management, tax-aware wealth planning, and personalized client service. We're a steward along your financial journey because you deserve more than a run-of-the-mill experience. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
The board-certified and fellowship-trained physicians at Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin have been treating patients in the Madison area for over 2 decades, specializing in a wide range of areas including sports medicine, joint replacement, spine, and more. The team utilizes the latest in non-surgical and surgical treatment options that are individualized for your goals and lifestyle, convenient and accessible with appointments available within 24 hours. Get back to being active and doing what you love. Visit orthospinecenters.com. That's orthospinecenters.com.
You know Mountain Dew is like no other soft drink on earth. That's because Mountain Dew is the boldest soft drink the world has ever seen. Today, Mountain Dew, the most iconic flavor in the history of soft drinks, has spawned a new generation of outrageously craveable flavors that share its glory, like Mountain Dew Major Melon, Mountain Dew Code Red, Mountain Dew Spark, Mountain Dew Voltage, and Mountain Dew Livewire. So here's to the neon royalty of Dew and the Dew flavors that have come after it, the boldest flavors on earth.
Spectrum TV customers, you have lost access to Disney's unrivaled portfolio of live sports on ESPN, like college football and Monday Night Football. Live sports and news coverage, plus kids, family, and entertainment programming, all gone. Take action now and tell Charter you want your networks back. Go to keepmynetworks.com to learn more.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
This is Monte Ball.
Monte steps to the right, dashes, reaches, touchdown.
You listen to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Heads Carolina, tails California, somewhere greener, somewhere warmer, up in the mountains, down by the ocean where it don't
31-22 final score. Washington State over the Wisconsin Badgers in Pullman this evening. Luke Fickell era starts 1-1. Tough road loss. It's ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame live from the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison Studios. My name's Colin Russo, joined by Adam Mertz, former Badgers Chris Orr, and Brad Nortman. Phone lines are open, 844-770-3776. Let us know what was the big problem with the Badgers tonight. Let's leave the refs out of it. What was the big problem? Game plan, coaching, talent level, energy. You let us know. 844-770-3776. We jump to Joe, who's in Madison with us. Joe, you're on ESPN College Game Day. What do you got for us?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
I really thought that the defense from the jump was just a step or two behind. Like Ward, he had a receiver running down the sideline for back-to-back touchdowns that could have been. And, they just didn't match. Like, Washington State has the same tempo that Wisconsin does on offense, and we just couldn't match their tempo on defense or, slow them down. We also had zero pass rush the entire night. Just let them sit back. Second half, it got better. There is a positive, though, tonight, and that's Tanner Mordecai.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he played really, really well tonight. But if we want to be able to beat Ohio State, and that's why we hired Luke Fickell to compete with Michigan,
This is true.
Ohio State, and to compete with
at the highest level,
the
absolutely.
big schools, we're going to have to run the ball. I mean, it's plain and simple. Like, Braylon Allen cannot have 7 carries for 20 yards tonight. Chez Malusi cannot cost us the game.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, Joe, you got it. I won't put the loss on Chez.
No.
That was a rough call.
Even
it was an unfortunate situation with the camera angles. In this day and age, having camera angle issues is absolutely beyond me. And with that fumble late in the game. Honestly, Joe, you're on point with the fact that the pass rush was completely absent in that first half. Would you agree with that, Chris?
For sure.
And they looked a step slow. For a team that's overriding how many defensive backs are on the field. They should be one of the fastest, if not the fastest defense we've seen in a long time in terms of actual speed. They looked a step slow, and they didn't look as prepared. Joe, thanks for the call. Phone line's still open, 844-770-3776. We shift to the tweeting side of the things. Let's get to tweets of the game.
Fingers turn to Twitter fingers.
Let's see what the trolls were saying. Here are today's tweets of the game on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
So every single game, I get the joy of going through X and looking at all of the different tweets of the game and what people are saying about the Badgers, and inevitably make Chris Orr even more angry with fans.
Here we go, yeah,
right? So we're going to go through the roller coaster of this game because it was obviously very up and down for fans. So we had Danny tweeting out, Badgers secondary can sit down. Play Snowden, play anybody else. At least true freshmen can have excuses to make mistakes and get a lot of growth to take off for next season. Bench Smith, don't even let Latu dress again. This is embarrassing. Chris, let's start with you.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm gonna tell you why I don't like it. This is why I don't like it. Because a lot of fans or just the untrained eye when you're watching football, you see somebody shrieking and you just look at whoever's in that vicinity and you're like, this is supposed to be their person or their man or whatever. You don't understand the true mindset behind playing defense. Like sometimes you play certain coverages and you're like, I'm going to play behind this guy because I'm supposed to have somebody over the top of me, or I'm going to play over the top of him because somebody's supposed to be coming underneath, whatever. Two, when you start talking about players, like what you don't understand is, do you think the coaches aren't putting the best option out there? We had the same conversation last year with Graham Mertz, and I'm telling you right now, If they had open practices all day, every day, you would understand why the starters are the starters. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, all this talk about the defense in the first half, and they look discombobulated. Again, like to your point, Chris, this looks like a team that was unprepared for what Washington State was going to throw at them. They were
crazy for a team with
they were
the
lost.
same exact team came at them last year.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean they were just absolutely lost. So that wasn't on guys, because you saw in the second half once they turned it up.
Yep.
Once they let guys loose a little bit, got a little pressure on. I thought everyone just started playing a lot more aggressively. So it really comes back to scheme for me.
For sure.
Yeah, it was a collective fail, in my opinion. And, the players play a role in that for sure, but primarily it just did not seem like they were in the right place at the right time. So I think it was scheme. And I hope, I'm not sure if you said this on air or off air, but I hope the coaches say something to the effect of, I take the blame for this. I need to get guys in better shape and in better position to go make plays.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be curious about how they would do that. But Hunter, continue on.
Yeah, this next one then will bring us back to the old days of Badger football, as we had Captain Booty tweeting,
"Love that
Wisconsin Badgers football should always have a fullback. This is
Amen,
blasphemy."
brother.
Oh, God.
Amen, brother.
No.
Amen, brother.
No, bad tweet.
Amen, brother.
Thumbs down from me.
Amen,
what does
brother.
a fullback have to do with today? I know Chris Orr wants to see the fullback.
I'll tell you what it had to do with it. I'll tell you what it had to do with it. This is exactly what it had to do with it. We have a 6'2", 245-pound running back. We have two great horses.
He is
in
the
back.
fullback.
Wait, no. Do you say that about Derrick Henry? Anyway,
That's a Hall of Famer. That's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Anyway, this is all I'm gonna say. Like, when you're 6'2", 245, you almost average. You should average 3 yards a pop if you're running downhill. When you're running out of the gun, he has to go lateral before he can get downhill. There's people wrapping his legs up by the time he gets into the line of scrimmage. Whereas if you're coming from 7, sometimes 9 yards deep with a full head of steam, you break those arm tackles. You get that 3 yards. You can put your helmet into your guard's back and get 4 yards a pop. And when you face some of these teams, especially in this new age of like college football and all that, what people don't realize is, man, like this new age, a new era of football is soft. Like a lot of guys don't want to see a 245-pound back with a full head of steam coming at them over and over again. They don't want to have to deal with these trap blocks and whams all over again. Not saying that we shouldn't like air it out and all of that. Like I think there should be some type of balance is what I'm saying. And the balance, you don't help your run game, you don't help your O-line in the spread 24/7. You don't help them.
Hunter, you got one more for us?
Yeah, we've got one last tweet here. This
hear
is
it.
from the Badger Barstool account. Wisconsin 22 versus referees 31. Good thing our most exciting season in years got ruined like this.
Oh,
My goodness, what is wrong with people? Did they watch the game?
That's crazy. Like, listen, I'm a student too, so I understand it because it's probably students running that account.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sure they're watching at a bar. They're half watching it, half not. They see the replay of the fumble, and they're like, that's not a fumble. They see the replay of the safety, and they're like, that's a safety.
Yeah.
Then they go back to the bar and do whatever the hell they're doing at the bar.
My thing is, what about the game? What did we show as a team that without these two calls, the outcome of the game is different? Like, what did we show? Because we still...
The one thing I'll say is we were at the 50-yard line when that Malusi thing happened. We were inching
we were closer.
We were inching with field goal range. And I also think a big play that we didn't call yet on that punt return. You know, Chimray got to the 35-yard line, and there was that bogus little half shove of the punt. The punter that called that unsportsmanlike penalty cost 15 yards.
But that's not on the ref. Don't touch him.
Don't touch him.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, that's on the player.
That's not.
Yeah,
that's on the
but I will say this about the refs. So, okay, let's say that either one of those two calls went our way, right? Where they got the safety, or maybe the safety one that's probably the bigger one, or the fumble.
Yeah, it probably is.
But we still were in a position where we needed to make a stop.
Yes.
And they went right down the field and scored.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, so even if we would have scored those times, they would have had the ball last and went right down the field and scored anyway.
That last drive, like at the end of the day, you're in a position to win the game.
Yes.
And you don't win the game.
Yes.
That's the big problem. And the offense was in a position to go down and score, and they didn't go down and score.
Yes.
But one thing that is going to show from that is those plays are deflating. And where does that reflect? It reflects in the coaching staff. The coaching staff has to rally this team to be able to respond to something like that, and they didn't do that tonight.
That was the vintage Barry Alvarez line. It was about the pendulum, waiting for the pendulum to swing back in your favor. He preached that from day one here. I was lucky enough to have 2 walk-on roommates who were on ground floor of the Barry Alvarez era, and so I got to hear a lot of the stories about the culture building and coming in from that depressed status that they were in the Morton era. And Barry built those guys up, and he built them to be mentally tough.
Yeah.
And that was number one because they didn't have the talent. They were playing uphill for 3 years before they broke through and got to the Rose Bowl. But it was all about your preparation and you're knowing that in a football game, there's going to be a lot of things going against you, and it's going to feel like it's going to keep going against you. But if you give up, if you take your eye off it, you're going to miss it when it's coming back at you, and you can seize that opportunity.
Yeah, seize that opportunity. That's Adam Mertz. Colin Rousseau here, joined by former Badgers Chris Orr and Brad Nortman. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame brought to you by Coors Light. That was Tweets of the Game, which is brought to you by Astarian Bank. At Astarian Bank, they pride themselves on being a super community bank with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Astarian Bank is here investing in your community while offering valuable personal and business banking services. Start your experience today by going to starianbank.com. Member FDIC. We get into some more next. You got us for the next hour. Let us know your problems with this Badger team. 844-770-3776. We open up the next hour. We want to talk more about this coaching staff. What is going to happen? Where does the future lie for this team? How does the perspective change after a game like this? We get into that and more next. It's ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Middleton Power Center used to get their network printers, supplies, ink, and toner from big box stores and online suppliers. That's all changed now with HP printers from James Imaging Systems. Owner Dwayne Nolden.
Before we would struggle through printer problems, and now we get somebody we can call and get us help.
Plus with James, you get proactive toner supply management and HP certified service, saving you time and money. And that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, that's a very good thing. Little glitches here and there, but that's why we have them to fix it for us.
James Imaging Systems, HP printers, supplies, and local service from a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed office technology company.
They help us with what we need to keep our business running, and that's, number one now.
James Imaging Systems, an HP Premier dealer. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local office technology partner.
Are you looking for a fast-paced job in a fun and exciting work environment? Look no further than Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. We offer a wide range of job and shift availability in both part-time and full-time positions. Competitive wages and great benefits await you at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. Visit us in person or check out our website to see all of our job openings. Make work fun and apply for a job at Madison's only casino.
Big trailers and big opportunity. Since 1962, Stoughton Trailers has been a family-owned and operated business. With competitive wages and excellent benefits, plus growth and advancement opportunities, Stoughton Trailers is an exciting place to grow your career. Join the collaboration, innovation, and dynamic team atmosphere at Stoughton Trailers, with positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. Go to stojobs.com to apply today. Stoughton Trailers, big opportunity.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
This summer, Coors Light wants you to retire, even if it's only temporary. Take a break from your 9 to 5 for 9 holes of golf. Trade those spreadsheets for a bingo card. Or swap your office chair for a water aerobics floaty.
Cool noodles up, everyone!
This summer, welcome to temporary retirement. Coors Light, made to chill. Copyright 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
David Gilreath from the 3. 25, 30, 35, explodes midfield. A chance to return the opening kickoff for 6. He'll take it to the house. It's blocked unbelievably. Wisconsin with a chance to pounce. Touchdown Badgers. Unbelievable. Simply shocking. Stockton! Touchdown! Jonathan Taylor, can he take it the distance? He can! Touchdown Badgers! Camp Randall lets it roar.
It's time for the best after party in the state. This is the Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show.
Second hour rolling on. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame brewed by Coors Light. 31-22 final. Washington State takes down the Badgers in Pullman. They rushed the field, played jump around. You know what? Let them. They deserve it. They don't have a conference next year, and they played like they wanted a conference next year. 31-22 final. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. My name is Colin Russo. Joined across from me is Adam Mertz and former Badgers Chris Orr and Brad Norman live from the Everlight Solar Studio here in Madison. We're with you for the next hour. If you have any problems with this Badger team, don't hesitate to let us know. 844-770-3776. What were the major problems for you tonight? Outside of the refs. We know the refs are the problem. But 844-770-3776. We haven't gotten a ton of Fickle quotes. I want to hear what he has to say about what's going on with this team. But as one quote we saw from Evan Flood here on Twitter was he wasn't making any excuses being a first-year head coach and trying to implement his new scheme. And when he was asked about that, he said, quote, "The reality is we have enough talent to win." Bradley Nortman, I want to get your thoughts on that. Is that really the reality, or is this what does he mean by that?
I think they do have enough talent to win. They have enough talent to beat this team in Washington. That's for sure. I mean, if you're stacking up against Ohio State and Michigan, but they do have a talent gap. But I was hoping that he would take it one more step and say, and it's going to be on me, and I will make sure that these guys will be ready, and I will make sure that I harness this talent. And we were talking a little bit off air, and the coach, what was the Washington State?
Jake Dicker.
Jake Dicker, yep. He said that something to the effect of, we belong in a Power 5 conference, which I think is totally appropriate for him to say. He just beat Wisconsin twice. And it's like, okay, we know he was saying that all week, and this goes back to a head coach's role of what am I saying? What am I doing to influence my players' thinking, and then their thinking will then influence their play. And I'm wondering, what is Coach Fickell saying all week? Like, what did he say after the Buffalo win? We agreed that Buffalo win was not a very pretty win. So what was he saying all week? What was he saying pregame? What's he saying postgame? And I almost have a theory that I feel like just came to me. I haven't totally fleshed it out, but I was like, okay, well, he should know what to say to guys because he was at Ohio State for 16 years, right? He's seen success. He should see what works. But Ohio State, you almost don't need to cultivate that us against the world, go out there and be tough. They have a talent gap over almost everybody.
They do.
So the narrative that you are telling your players at Ohio State is very different than what the narrative you might be telling at Wisconsin. Maybe his whole time at Ohio State is they've never needed to say, guys, they're disrespecting you, this and that. You need to go bring your energy, get your lick back, Chris Orr. Maybe he was never hearing that. Maybe it's just what he was saying is, we're going to go out there, we're going to do our thing, and we're going to be better than you. And maybe he never felt like he needed to go that next step.
That's an amazing point because, Man, even thinking back to like when I was getting recruited to Wisconsin, that's what resonated with me. I'm like, yeah, this is a Power 5 program, but
the underdog mentality.
Yeah, this is an underdog program. Like nobody. I always felt like, man, nobody respects us.
Yeah,
Nobody
just
respects
on the outside of like true
nobody
relevance.
respects us how they should. Like they don't even give our players the amount of respect that we deserve. Like yada yada yada. Things do change when you change scenery, but if I'm being honest, he should have some of that, especially coming from Cincinnati. I'm sure that was the messaging all year long when they went to the playoffs was, man, these guys feel like you don't deserve to be here. They think that they beat you by just putting on their uniform today. They think they beat you by showing up to the stadium today. It's up to you to go out there and prove them wrong, whatever the case is, however you want to slice that up. But, yeah, he should have at least a little bit of experience with that and successful experience doing it, to be honest. And with Cincinnati, if we're being completely honest, we should have a better roster than you had at Cincinnati.
Does Luke Fickell seem unprepared for this job at the moment, Adam Mertz?
Ooh.
Man.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Tough question.
That might
You got to think about it.
I know. This is what I would say to that. I feel like they came in with a great vision for what they want this program to be.
Mm-hmm.
They have the blueprint. They have the experience from different places. They have the Big Ten knowledge.
Some building blocks
they
there.
They have the proof point in Cincinnati, what they were able to do. But did they set this team up for success for this season? I mean, that's a major question mark right now. The way that they came out and didn't look that polished last week.
Fed them the Kool-Aid of national champions.
Correct. A lot of talk about the distance and not about the steps needed to get there.
That's well said. And I'm trying to the whole quote of like being delusional last week still sticks in my head. And I wonder if that's what part of this is about. That I thought that maybe the delusion was rooted in, I thought we could just show up and push people around. And then the result is already taken care of itself. And I think that's maybe he's looking and saying maybe it's not that easy.
It's culture year by year, inch by inch. Gosh, that was well said by Adam Mertz and Brad Norton. Chris Orr also with us. Colin Russo here. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day brought to you part by Canopy Wealth Management. Jump around is a tradition for your Wisconsin Badgers. Canopy Wealth Management also carries a long-standing tradition of working in the best interest of their clients every single day. They believe that values matter and strengthen the community. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity. It's just a tagline. It's a promise. Go to Canopy-Wealth Management. Canopy-Wealth.com to get started today. We saw the same game. Give me a break. But try it one more time. But it was interesting how the blueprint was there. Obviously, the way I look at it at this point, maybe the off-the-field stuff is going well. The building, the brand building, the influence, kind of creating a social media aspect to Wisconsin football, attracting and bringing in the recruits. But what's step 2 of that?
You got to go do it.
You got to go do it on the field. And week 2, losing on the road to an unranked opponent. They played a good game. Let's be fair.
Yep.
But losing to an unranked opponent on the road for the second year in a row, that is. You can't do that. And that is not the blueprint. And I'm not going to sit here and call for Luke Fickell's job. But to say that he maybe kind of jumped in the deep end without a life raft in a sense, like he wasn't really prepared to swim with the sharks, it's not the most unfair question in the world at the moment. And it's a weird thing to kind of say. It's not. But he seems like he doesn't really know what type of pool he's swimming in. Does that make sense to me?
I guess I'm just shocked at, like, you know, I think we all still agree this was a really good hire, right? And he's still proven he's a really good coach. And we got really good coordinators. And this was pitched to us as, like, this is like an all-star staff. And, like, how can you not have success with these guys running? And these schemes, oh, my gosh, these schemes. They're going to wait till we do the air raid. Yeah, wait till we implement this defense. And I think that's just what's disappointing. And, like, we know that the talent, some areas there's talent, some areas there's not on the field. But I guess I just bought into this hype, this excitement. And I was been using this analogy of, like, you know, they've been building hype like a bonfire, right? Where and the hype, the energy, all that kind of, that's kindling, right? That can get it going, but you need to throw some good dry logs on a fire. And you know what dry logs are in the NFL, and then it's late night, right, Colin? And but it's big wins. It's big wins. And you know what are losses like this?
That's a bucket on the fire.
This is a bucket on the fire. This is taking like a wet log and just plopping it right on. And that's what we were dealing with. And all that hype, all that kind of blowing on the fire, gone.
Yep.
Gone. Now it's going to be results and on the field and implementing your identity.
Yeah. Nobody's going to want to hear about your talk anymore. Nobody wants to hear,
especially now that they know you're human. You know what I mean? Like you've bled.
Exactly.
They see you.
Exactly. It sounded amazing preseason because the thought is, they have some talented players. Like you got Chimere Dike, who's a proven receiver. You got these horses in your backfield.
You got a super senior quarterback.
Oh my goodness, you got the super senior quarterback. He's thrown 73 touchdowns in his college career. He scored 10 touchdowns in one game. You got these backs who are now going to be able to run loose. Nobody's going to be able to tackle them because the box count's going to be so light. And I was trying to explain to people that, even though the box count's lighter, like you're lighter on offense too. You don't have the same amount of people blocking for him either. You don't get to line up in the spread and just say, we'll just destroy everybody.
Yeah.
But I think with Coach Fickell and talking about this staff, I just think that this is a good time for everybody to step back and realize it's not as easy as you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as easy as you think it is. It's not as easy to just say, okay, you got this talent, we should put it with this rock star coach, and it's just going to work immediately. It's just going to work like that. And I don't think it helps. I don't think it helps that Deion Sanders is doing what he's doing.
I was just going to say that.
Wow.
I don't think that helps because
they're seeing that.
Man, I remember talk of us being the playoff dark horse, and definitely losing to an unranked opponent does not help. You might be able to still do it, to be honest. You got to win out. Yeah, you got to run the table. You got to win out. You got to win the Big Ten. But I just think this is an opportunity for maybe the new staff. Yeah, a big wake up call. Like, hey man, you realize this is tough, whatever. But two, you also realize you haven't started Big Ten play, and people want to critique the West or whatever. And I said the West is more competitive top to bottom. I mean with each other, not talent wise. With each other, we compete more. But two, that Big Ten play is a different breed. Once you get into conference play, it's a different breed.
They got film. They got preparation.
It's a different breed.
They got the coaching staffs know each other.
That motivation is there, just like it was for Washington State. That motivation is there. A lot of these coaches have been through years of Wisconsin dominating the West. You don't think they want their lick back?
Amen to that.
Man.
They're going to get their lick back. A wake-up call for this coaching staff. 31-22 final. Washington State over the Wisconsin Badgers in Pullman this evening. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. Presented by Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day, choose the beer that's as cold as the Rockies. Cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do. And that's crush a Coors Light. 2023 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Is the honeymoon over for Luke Fickell? Is the honeymoon over for Luke Fickell and this new look Wisconsin Badgers? Let us know. 844-770-3776. Phone lines are open. Talk and text. 844-770-3776. Let us know. Is the honeymoon over? It's ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame.
Postgame reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Help us celebrate 90 years in business by visiting us at 220 State Street. We've been a part of a lot of great moments, and we want to add to those special occasions. Our staff is here to help you make that perfect selection for your memorable moment. Come see firsthand why Goodman's Jewelers has withstood the test of time and why we're truly a destination worth reaching. Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison, and a whole lot more. Goodman'sJewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
What does it take to make a diamond? Extreme heat and pressure and about 1 billion years. But you can't wait that long. What do? You go to Goodman's Jewelers. I'm John Hayes from Goodman's Jewelers. There's a reason we are the Diamond Store of Madison. Since 1933, we provided outstanding service and selection to our customers, and that in turn has helped to establish countless great memories through the years. Goodman'sJewelers.com, located at 220 State Street, truly a destination worth reaching.
The board-certified and fellowship-trained physicians at Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin have been treating patients in the Madison area for over 2 decades, specializing in a wide range of areas including sports medicine, joint replacement, spine, and more. The team utilizes the latest in non-surgical and surgical treatment options that are individualized for your goals and lifestyle, convenient and accessible with appointments available within 24 hours. Get back to being active and doing what you love. Visit orthospinecenters.com. That's orthospinecenters.com.
Hey, it's Stacy Bruner from Bruner Realty. People have been telling me that buying a home is nothing to joke about, so instead of telling you another real estate joke, I'm going to have somebody else do it.
Jesse Nelson here. Why did the real estate agent buy a skateboard? So he could flip it.
Come on, Jesse, this is no laughing matter.
Well, when it's time to get serious about buying or selling, that's when people should do what we did and work with you.
Contact us at BrunerRealtyInc.com. Bruner Realty, homes to appreciate.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. Metro Ford is also the home of the 2 years no-charge maintenance offer on new vehicle purchases, making it the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at MetroFordofMadison.com. That's MetroFordofMadison.com.
In a world without Mountain Dew, life would be pretty dull. Because when you crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew, you enter a world where the ground rules of life are a little different. So grab yourself a Mountain Dew and get that incomparable blast of neon citrus flavor. Together with Mountain Dew, there's nothing you can't do and almost nothing you won't do to take things to the next level. Hey, the operating rule is pretty simple. If you're not having an outrageously good time, you're not drinking Dew. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, helping you achieve your financial goals with confidence. Canopy Wealth Management. Care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today.
Is the honeymoon over for the Luke Fickell era? You know, we had our fun. We went on to a vacation in a very paradise spot. We swam in a beautiful ocean. Now the rainstorms have come, and the honeymoon is over. Welcome in Milwaukee. Joining us, ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame brewed by Coors Light. Also brought to you part by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, who were not winners tonight. The Wisconsin Badgers were not. But winners go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, the casino with the highest payouts in the area. They're open right now and stay open until 2 a.m. on Monday. Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. More spins, more wins, more fun. Phone lines are open, 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Is the Luke Fickell era over? Hunter, to the text lines we go. Anything interesting that we're getting?
Yeah, we've had a few texts here throughout the night. And in particular, we had a 262 number text in, which, by the way, if you're still listening, 262, give us your name and where you're calling from so we know exactly where it is. That 262 area code is pretty big. But they said that the scheme isn't good for Allen, and I think he got exposed tonight for not being very explosive in the open field. Also looked as though he was running injured or half speed.
I feel like we say that every year. I think that's just how he moves. Right? I feel like we always act like, is Braylon moving a step slow? I don't think he's banged up at this point.
No,
I think he's moving too much laterally.
No,
I think Chris alluded to it. I think it's hard to get downhill.
And it's hard to move 240 pounds.
Yeah.
It's hard to move that with some dynamic
Shaving 10 pounds probably wouldn't hurt him for especially if he with NFL aspirations. But Hunter, continue.
Yeah, then we had Eric in Texas. Eric with a K in Texas. They said, guys, it's 2 games. Relax. Give them a chance to get everything installed. Look at some of the throws that Mordecai made tonight. It's been a long time since there was a guy that can make plays like that.
I don't disagree with that.
Okay, I agree with the Mordecai part. And that was a really, really cool moment to see him just slinging the ball, accurate, tight. But the problem is these problems aren't going away.
Yeah.
Right? I think
These
that's
are last
the biggest
year's problems.
Yeah. Which is why I think that's why we were so quick to disregard the refs because good refing will come and go by game. These problems are not going away. So they need to be addressed, they need to be talked about.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And that was the whole point about not talking about the refs to start this show, because we're not talking about this game tonight. We're talking about how this sets up for the rest of the season.
Yep.
And what we're seeing is flaws, opportunities, and whatnot. And we have a lot of concerns.
A lot of concerns. It's a little problematic. I agree. Seeing that drive, that was something different. We haven't seen something like that in a while.
No.
Pretty cool. Happened for 2 drives. And the rest of the game, the offense was super stagnant.
Yeah, like I agree. I agree with the Mordecai stuff, but the relaxed stuff is I think that's a little wild because we saw things that were glaring issues from the last 2 weeks,
and
they just got magnified because you played a better opponent.
Yeah,
you played a better opponent, so now they're magnified.
It's also an unranked opponent.
Unranked opponent, still better than Buffalo though. And guess what? Another reason why we weren't able to run the ball is because Washington State was getting off of blocks and making plays. Not only because we were behind and, that's just not the right thing to do, but when you have only your 5-0 lineman blocking for your running back, I can stop that run with 5 guys in the box. I actually can do that. Defensively, you can actually stop that with five guys in the box, even though the numbers line up for you to be able to run the ball. I can stop that because I'm just getting off of one block. There's a double-edged sword to every scheme in football. Every scheme in football is a double-edged sword. There's good and there's bad. And I think right now we're just
we're trying to figure out where the best good is.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, an interesting fact, we were talking about this a lot last season, about when the Badgers would throw the ball more than 25 times. I went back and I looked at it just to make sure I had my numbers right. And the Wisconsin Badgers now, since 2020, when they throw the ball 25 or more times in a game, they are now 2-12.
Wow.
Now, granted, only 2 of those games are with Tanner Mordecai, but he's 1-1, and he's thrown the ball over 30 times both games.
Yeah, that's a Graham Mertz statistic. So hopefully we don't have.
Statistic at this point.
I understand. Yeah, 2-1-1. Let's give the guy a break, right? I understand, but it's a tough spot to be in because we don't really know where to look now. All we've been talking about is perspective, expectations, where do we want this team to go. Sure, you could argue that college football, you got to give the guy a chance to get his feet wet. Again, we talked about this last segment. He alluded to it a little bit. What's going on around college football?
Yeah.
You see LSU, Brian Kelly comes in, they immediately go to the SEC championship game. Lincoln Riley goes to USC, they're immediately thrust into the top 10 conversation. Deion Sanders basically kicked out an entire program that went 1-11. He brought 4 guys from Jackson State University, and now they're 2-0. And they're a huge road win against a ranked opponent. So there's a level of you gotta figure it out. You gotta figure it out fast. People are getting less and less patient by the year.
Yeah. We no longer live in that era where you
got to give them 3 years of
give
culture
them some
building.
time, let them develop under your program. Like, that's starting to die in college football, especially with the transfer portal and, you don't have to sit out anymore and all of that. That stuff's dying. That's why I don't have there shouldn't be much sympathy for, oh, man, they just got their first 2 games. They got a new coach. Well, we're seeing this at other programs who, if I'm being honest, we're probably a foot above them, from where they were before, especially Colorado. That's what I'm alluding to. We're a better program than Colorado. We get a new coach, they get a new coach, and we're having completely different results. I don't know where you point the fingers now.
Well, and I just think that if you're going to keep the analogy of the honeymoon going, right? You got married. You're on your honeymoon. You had a great
Day
time.
5, it just started raining.
It was great. You know what? You had your first big fight. Okay, now you're looking at each other and say, okay, maybe this isn't always like easy. You better go to therapy. You better do something. You better take this and use it so that you have a better marriage going forward. Because, look, this isn't going to define the Luke Fickell era at Wisconsin. But we can look around and see a lot of symptoms of things that we need to go find what's the root. Like what is the virus that is causing these symptoms? And look, it's not just one thing, it's multiple. I mean, when's the last time that we looked at our team and like offensive and defensive line wasn't a strength? And I think we can look at it and say that's definitely not a strength. At a minimum, it kind of got exposed. So it doesn't have to be bad. But I just think we bought into this. It's going to be easy. These are elite coaching staff. That's all we're missing. I think it's a lot more than that.
You know, and the thing that you guys talked about off air, I'd love to hear a little bit more right now too, is it's not just the fans and the fans' expectation. It is the piranha-like action that's going to go on behind the scenes in terms of recruiting the next class of talent that's going to come through. So you've got Coach Christ, you had Bielema, you had Alvarez. You had this long legacy of what Wisconsin is and what you're recruiting to. He's coming in and selling something new. And when you don't have that proof on paper yet of this will work and this will translate, I think that is that much harder of a request to get someone to come into a program. Not that if he has an okay year this year, that's fine. That's fine.
Right.
You can get by on 1 year like that.
Sure.
But they're already going to start picking.
Yeah,
we talked about it. They're already starting picking tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'll go back to my recruiting story, man. In 2014, I'm a senior down in DeSoto, Texas, man. The best high school football program in the country, by the way.
To our DeSoto fans listening now.
Yeah, what's up, Mom? But yeah, we lost in the Big Ten championship game to Ohio State, and that was the biggest night of my recruiting. You know, I had coaches calling me from places I didn't even have a scholarship offer from.
Wow.
Calling and saying, hey, man, you still going to go to Wisconsin? Are you watching this game?
Remind everyone what that score was, as painful as it is, so they know what the context is.
It was 59-0, man. It was 59-0. I was watching the game by myself, mad. My brother even called me. He was at TCU at the time. He even called me. He was like, man, you sure you still want to go out there?
Wow.
Yeah.
And you didn't waver, huh?
No, I didn't waver, man. It drove me even more to come here. But I don't know if these kids are like that anymore.
Yeah,
they're getting paid.
You got that underdog thing to you, you know?
They're getting paid now.
Oh, the money. The money, too.
I didn't have to think about that.
For sure.
The money.
I knew my money was going to come off of the years of work you put in at the program. Then it's like, yeah, now I get to the money. But anyway, off of that, even the fact that Coach Fickell and his staff have, I don't want to butcher this or say they've taken this approach of recruiting outside of Wisconsin, but you know, people have critiqued them of not putting up a wall around Wisconsin. We've lost some of our top players or whatever from the state, and we're reaching across the country. You got to pass a lot of programs to get to Wisconsin, from Texas, from North Carolina, Florida, California. Especially now, since with the Big Ten expanding west, there's a lot of programs that you got to miss in order to get to Wisconsin. And it's in this new day and age of NIL and transfer portal, all of that, you can easily go somewhere and play immediately, anywhere in the country. You
got to be sold on the vision.
Yeah, the security of a spot, the security of some money, I don't even think that does it. I think it's more so exactly what you just said. You got to be sold on the vision. If I'm going to Wisconsin, who's a program that's steadily knocking on the door, I have to be sold on the fact that this new staff, this new vision is going to get us over the hump. I can be a part of this team that pushes us forward, that pushes the envelope forward, and actually gets a chance to compete in the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that, you're going to go somewhere else. You're going to go somewhere else that can convince you more. You're going to go if I know we have a big-time Texas quarterback commit right now who just watched Texas get a big-time win in Alabama and just watched us, the team he's committed to, lose to unranked Washington State in primetime. The poaching can start right now.
And we're not trying to preach doomsday on this program. We're not. But these are problems, and these are problems that will arise when you lose to an unranked opponent on the road. That's Chris Orr, Brad Nortman, Adam Mertz, Colin Russo, coming from you live, Everlight Solar Studios down in Madison. A late night for us. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame brewed by Coors Light. Also brought to you in part by Celsius. ESPN Wisconsin Game Day is brought to you by Celsius Energy Drink with a unique blend of essential energy and key vitamins. Celsius is your partner to an active lifestyle. Learn more at Celsius.com. or pick some up wherever you get your delicious drinks. We get into Flush It or Flesh It next segment. It'll be interesting. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Gold medalist Matt Hamilton, judgmental Jim Rutledge, and Hamilton.
The season is not make or break on Jordan Love being good or not. It's make or break on finding out what Jordan Love is. It doesn't matter if Jordan Love is good or bad, because at the end of the day, we need to know, is he the guy going forward or not?
Rutledge and Hamilton, with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton. Presented by Coors Light, weekdays 2 to 4 on 100.5 ESPN.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
If you're looking to fill the vacant space in your commercial building, the local agents at RE/MAX and the Preferred Commercial Group are eager to grow your bottom line. Head to commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN and find an investment partner to lead the way to your property dreams today.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day on Wisconsin On Demand is brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, helping you achieve your financial goals with confidence, care, competence, clarity. It's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today.
In a world without Mountain Dew, life would be pretty dull. Because when you crack open an ice-cold Mountain Dew, you enter a world where the ground rules of life are a little different. So grab yourself a Mountain Dew and get that incomparable blast of neon citrus flavor. Together with Mountain Dew, there's nothing you can't do and almost nothing you won't do to take things to the next level. Hey, the operating rule is pretty simple. If you're not having an outrageously good time, you're not drinking Dew. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
At Starion Bank, they pride themselves on being a super community bank. Small enough to show they care about you and the communities they serve, while being large enough to make big things happen. With 3 Madison area branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona, Starion Bank is here investing in your community while offering valuable personal and business banking services. Start your experience with Starion Bank today by going to starionbank.com. Member FDIC.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison. From LA to Piscataway, this is your college football scoreboard update, driven by Metro Ford of Madison.
What is up, Wisconsin? I'm Hunter Vaughn, and it was a good day for most of the Big Ten teams, except for the Wisconsin Badgers, of course, as again they fell 31-22 on the road at Washington State. Both Ohio State and Michigan got wins at home by a score of 35-7. Michigan winning over UNLV, and Ohio State beat down Youngstown State. Speaking of beatdowns, number 7 Penn State won 63-7 over Delaware. Nebraska struggled on the road at Colorado, losing 36-14 to the Buffaloes, and Purdue got a road win at Virginia Tech, 24-17. The Iowa Hawkeyes won the Cy-Hawk Trophy, 20-13 over Iowa State. Michigan State winning at home, 45-14 over the Richmond Spiders. The Spartans are 2-0 now on the year. And Northwestern got a win. They're 1-1 as they won 38-7 at home against the Miners of UTEP. Also, Maryland's 2-0. They won 38-20 against Charlotte. And the Gophers of Minnesota won at home. They're also 2-0 now on the year, winning 25-6 over Eastern Michigan.
Metro Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Learn more at metrofordofmadison.com.
What if I'm far from home? Oh, brother, I will hear you call. What if I lose it all? Oh, sister, I will help you out. Oh, if the sky comes falling down for you.
31-22 final score in Pullman, Washington this evening. The Wisconsin Badgers fall to the Washington State Cougars. Jake Dicker, 2-0 against the Badgers the last 2 years. Unfortunately so, 1-1 start to the Luke Fickell era. It's ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame, brewed by Coors Light, but also brought to you in part by Mountain Dew. It is always a good call to drink Mountain Dew. Wisconsin football players Braylon Allen, Tanner Mordecai, Chimray Dike, and CJ Williams get game day ready with Pepsi, and so should you. Head over to Pepsi608 on Instagram to stay up to date for ticket giveaways this football season. Jump around and enjoy Pepsi, a proud partner of the Wisconsin Badgers. Colin Russo here, joined by Adam Mertz and former Badgers Chris Orr and Brad Nordman. We roll on here live. We're going to get to Flush It or Flesh It.
Flush it?
We failed multiple times with bad ideas. I didn't know were bad till I realized they didn't work.
Or flesh it?
Yeah, that's one idea. Or we can work as a team.
Brought to you by Gordon Flesh Company. Business, technology, managed. Taking the worry out of your office equipment and IT needs.
All right, since Chris Orr needed a re-explanation of what this segment is.
I think we all do.
I'm going to give you guys just some statements about my observations from the game. You either flesh them out, talk about them a little bit more, kind of go further in depth on it, or you flush it away.
And by flushing it away, let's clarify something, because Hunter Vaughn thought this was a win last week when we flushed all three of his statements, but we actually talked about it a little bit. We're allowed to say a couple thoughts on it, but then we could flush it away for good.
You monologued about one of them, Colin. So I think you need to stop giving me a hard time.
That's fair. Two-way street. We'll adjust both ways. Hunter, Vaughn, you start. You kick us off here.
Starting off, I just want to point out that my game prediction got a little bit of flack on social media. I predicted that the Badgers would lose 31-28, and I was only 6 points off. So flush it or flesh it. I'm a genius. Chris Orr.
This should be a quick one.
Flush it. You're not a genius.
Yeah.
Not just play. I mean, I guess a good pick, but I don't know how you can call yourself a Wisconsinite. You know,
it's
rooting
true.
against the Badgers.
Wow.
I just speak the truth.
He just flipped that on you.
And I'm from Texas.
He just flipped that on you. You a real fan, Hunter?
Of course I'm a real fan. How dare you?
Maybe he's not. Hunter Vaughn, our producer here on this very program. I'm going to flush it as well. A genius.
I'm smarter than you.
You have your moments.
About 99.99% of the time, yes.
Sorry, it's already flushed. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'll flush it, but I'll maybe change it from genius to courageous. That took a lot of courage to go out there and put it, because against the Wisconsin faithful, man, you get some hate against you. So well done to stick with it. I hate to say, but yes, you had a good pick.
Decent pick.
I mean, I'll flesh it sitting here with my bad pick tonight. More of a genius than I am. I got nothing to speak about.
Nothing to speak about. Hunter, you got another one?
I do. this one, we have to turn back the clock a little bit. Mertzy's going to remember this one well. 2013. First-year head coach Gary Anderson takes the Wisconsin Badgers out west to play a Pac-12 team. That Pac-12 team was Arizona State, who beat the Badgers as well, and it was controversial because of a kneel down, not kneel down, clock kept running nonsense, and everybody was mad at the referees. So flush it or flesh it. I should be nervous now as a Badger fan that the Luke Fickell era has started very similarly to the Gary Anderson era.
Mertzy, you got to start with this one. You're the one who.
So let's flesh it. Let's talk this one through.
Okay, fair.
Because there's a couple things here. Because number one, let's get back to our initial topic tonight about where the refs are involved in situations. To me, the only time that refereeing is involved is when something is decided on the final play of the game.
Yeah.
And if the refs did something wrong, it's like robbing the U.S. of the gold medal in basketball in '72 by giving the Russians 3 more tries at it.
That's right, and Munich games.
Yep. And then that one was a robbery because they changed the literal outcome of that game from the potential game-winning field goal.
Cost them a medal.
They cost them a game. So the thing I'll say, though, is I'm the biggest critic of the Gary Anderson era in terms of where it was headed as a program. When I looked on that win-loss record of those 2 years, that's not too shabby.
Not too bad.
What is
not
it?
too
That's
bad.
not too
huh?
shabby. That's not too shabby.
Not too bad.
I
gotta flesh this out too, but like to compare it,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna flesh it as well, and I see the similarities. If we're being
sounds so
completely
weird
honest,
to say.
I see the similarities, but mainly because what did Coach Anderson do? He came to Wisconsin. I'm going to spread the ball out. We're going to be in the shotgun all the time. He kept Coach Aranda genius. Shout out Dave. Yeah, he wanted to spread it out. He did a lot of different things in recruiting. I was a part of his recruiting class as well. We were majority of us were out-of-state guys. We didn't get a lot of in-state guys until Coach Chris came on staff. Actually, a lot of the guys that we got from in-state who were on scholarship, Coach Anderson only offered them as preferred walk-ons, or maybe you can gray shirt for a year, or whatever the case is. And it's kind of looking like that for the Fickell era. But at the same time, let's not discredit Coach Anderson. Like, he led us to a Big Ten championship game appearance as well. Like, let's not act like that. And
it's just a short-lived tenure is what I'm
very
talking
short-lived,
about.
Very short-lived. But also, if I'm being honest, a lot of Coach Anderson's recruits, some of my class included, were a part of like that 2017 class where we went undefeated. Was a part of some of these great teams were his recruiting classes. If I'm being completely honest, but yeah, I don't think I don't think it's wrong to say it's wrong to maybe compare like the totality of their tenure tier, which you just can't do because Coach Fickell's only been here for 2 games anyway. But as far as like, the hype wasn't the same, but on paper, moving to the spread, recruiting out of state, that's a fair statement.
So you could almost say I'm a genius for thinking of that. Yeah.
I'm gonna flesh it out too. Now I think that the similarities are it's too eerie, it's too coincidental. I don't.
We've seen a lot of like parallels, especially last year to this year with this Washington State game. Now the Anderson era, the Fickell era.
I didn't even think of the Anderson era. That's crazy.
I'm so glad that you brought up Anderson era because I look back. So I had my time with Coach Bielema, and it was like, a season of glory days for the Wisconsin program, right? But then he went to Arkansas, kind of ended well. In my mind's eye, I just remember everything being bad about Coach Anderson, right? Like, it's not Wisconsin, we struggled. For whatever reason, I just bought into that narrative, right? And I wasn't in Wisconsin. I was seeing this all from afar, whatever. But when you do go back and look, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach Anderson's win-loss, 11-3 the first year. 9-4 the first year, 11-3 second year.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And then if you go back and look really quickly at all the different Coach Bielema, Coach Anderson, Coach Christ, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of 10 wins.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some 12. I'm seeing some 11. I see some 9. And it's literally only within the last couple of years where you had like a 7-win.
Yeah.
You know, the COVID year.
Yeah.
It is like, and we're hoping that this team gets to 10 wins.
Yeah.
It's like we've been doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little bit like, now that I see it with with ink on the paper, it's like, whoa, that is crazy.
You mean you see what I was trying to tell people last year?
Yes.
When you go look at the win percentages of all the coaches that we've had here, and you know, no discredit to any of the coaches that we've had here in the past, but I urge everybody, go look at the win percentages of the coaches that we've had here. Go look at
and now I'm nervous about hitting that double-digit mark this year alone in year one of the Luke Fickell era. Hunter Vaughn, we got one more quick one.
Yeah, this one, I tweeted this out during the game as well, and honestly, I still believe in it. This is the worst Badgers defense that Wisconsin has had in the last decade.
Chris?
Flush it or flesh it.
Flesh it. In the
You
last
think in contention?
Oh yeah, in the last decade, we've played some amazing defense. I know in my time personally, just here, you know, we were consistently a top 5 defense in the country. Consistently, without a doubt. And it was like expected. It was expected for us to be good. It was expected for you to be better than the last year's defense. It was expected also for you to find a different way to be better. Easiest way I can put that is 2016, we had some ballers, man. TJ, I'm not even going to lie to you, TJ Watt showed everybody who he was in that year.
You can see it now, yeah.
2017, we lived off of turnovers. That was like our big thing. We created a lot of turnovers. We scored a lot defensively. And then my last year in 2019 was the year of the shutouts. We had a lot of shutouts. We had the most shutouts in school history that year. So, like, that was always the goal. And to say that this is the worst that it's been in a decade, you go back to from 2013 up until 2022.
Who was the competition? It's last year and probably this year. And last year we had Keanu Benton and Nick Herbig.
Exactly.
So this year's maybe a year more experience, maybe a couple guys here and there, a little better. You know what? It's a conversation. I'll give you that, Hunter. That was flush it or flesh it. I think that was an interesting last one. I don't know.
You don't like that?
No, it's hard to put into perspective.
Go look at the numbers.
We're also 2 games in.
True. But you got to think about
new scheme and everything too.
There's no excuse for that.
I know.
Listen. This I'm gonna tell you why I'm not giving the excuse of new scheme. I'm not giving the excuse of new scheme because we had this staff before last year's season was over.
Yeah.
We knew what was coming. They had the same amount of time to prepare, just like everybody else. You had spring, you had summer workouts, you had fall camp, just like everybody else. Nobody's saying that about them boys down there in Colorado. Nobody's giving that excuse to Nebraska.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's giving that excuse to them with the new head coach.
It makes it a little less acceptable seeing these major growing pains. But we also haven't talked enough about the energy. And we'll get into that more later in the show. But the energy, that's reflected of the coaching staff, I would say even more so than game plan and scheming. Energy, that is the baseline of a football game. That is sort of the pulse of the team is the energy you bring to the field. But that was flush it or flesh it. Good job, Hunter Vaughn. Better than last week.
Well, it's because I'm a genius.
Flush it or flesh it. Hunter Vaughn just made it worse. Flush it or flesh it is brought to you by the Gordon Flesh Company. It takes a team to meet just about any goal. That's true on the football field as it is in the office. Gordon Flesh Company has been providing cutting-edge technology for companies of all sizes for over 65 years. Visit gflesh.com to learn more. We hand out some game balls next. It's ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day Postgame brewed by Coors Light.
Post-game reaction continues next. This is ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
If you're looking to fill the vacant space in your commercial building, the local agents at RE/MAX and the Preferred Commercial Group are eager to grow your bottom line. Head to commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN and find an investment partner to lead the way to your property dreams today.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Working at a company that truly cares and invests in their employees should never be taken for granted. Work, learn, and earn at the Weld School at Stoughton Trailers. The program includes 1 week of paid training starting at $18 per hour and features small class sizes designed for individual attention. No prior experience is needed because teaching their employees is all part of the Stoughton Trailers way. Graduate into a full-time position in Stoughton or Evansville. Apply today at stojobs.com. That's stojobs.com.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. Metro Ford is also the home of the 2 years no-charge maintenance offer on new vehicle purchases, making it the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at metrofordofmadison.com. That's metrofordofmadison.com.
Grab an ice-cold can of Celsius Fantasy Vibe and experience a refreshing blast of sparkling mandarin marshmallow. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks are the perfect way to beat the heat all summer long. Find Celsius Fantasy Vibe at a retailer near you or visit Celsius.com to learn more. Grab an ice-cold can of Celsius Oasis Vibe and experience a refreshing blast of sparkly prickly pear lime. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks are the perfect way to beat the heat all summer long. Find Celsius Oasis Vibe at a retailer near you or visit Celsius.com to learn more.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesch Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
This team is loaded with a lot of potential. They just need to put it together, and I think that'll come with experience.
Before and after every game, your game day party lives with ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. Saturday on 100.5 ESPN.
Say it's your birthday. We got a big week on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. It is 12:11 a.m. local time for us. You know what that means. Big birthday in the house. Adam Mertz turns 51 today. Happy belated birthday, our
well,
friend.
I think it's kind of dope.
51 Coors.
51 Coors. He keeps the legacy going. Tomorrow's a big day for Adam Mertz. He's going to be drinking all day Coors Lights. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light. Adam Mertz, the birthday boy, with us alongside Chris Orr and Brad Nortman. We continue on. We want to hand out some game balls.
Who outshined the rest? Time for the guys to give out their game balls.
I'll start this one. Game balls. I'm going to take this one because they took it from me last week and they gave it to both the running backs. That was not fair. I will start on the offensive side of the ball. I'm going to give it to our prized quarterback, Tanner Mordecai. I thought the two highlights of the game were those two touchdown drives, and I thought Tanner Mordecai was a catalyst. He was a spark plug. He was a microwave. This guy got us going. And the defense fed off it. You could totally feel that. And you know what? He had his ups and downs. but I think he kind of put a lid on the fact that he can't handle this type of competition at the moment because he plays well. I think the question is, can he stack games? Can he be consistent? That we'll wait and see. But for now, I'm confident that this could be a guy that we could kind of rely on at the quarterback position. My game ball goes to Tanner Mordecai. You guys can take it too, but I'll continue that. Brad, we go to you.
Okay, I'm going to go with someone that doesn't get a whole lot of love.
Oh, I knew it.
Is this a specialist?
It absolutely is a specialist. It absolutely is a specialist. We talked about more, and that's our kicker, Nathaniel Vakos. Sophomore, classic Wisconsin specialist number 90.
Yeah.
So coming from number 98. So look, he hit some big kicks early on. Obviously, the offense was sputtering. They stopped a couple times on Washington State's side of the field, and he came in there and hit some clutch field goals. It wasn't even like you just got him in there. He hit him in the middle third. So he really had good composure, tough environment to kick, and he did well. Helped us stay in the game.
Adam Mertz, we shift to you. Your game ball goes to.
So we talked a lot about not a lot of energy in that first half. People maybe just being uncertain about how to play, not being aggressive. There was one exception, and that was Hunter Wooler. Hunter Wooler brought the wood from the first snap to the last snap. Just checked his stats now. Guess how many solo tackles?
Yeah, he had, I think, 9 or 10 last week.
10
2 weeks
solo
in a row.
tackles.
Ooh.
10 of it. He had 13 total and 10 solo tackles.
He's all over the field.
I mean, he's a great chess piece. He's an unbelievable chess piece. He's going to be fun to play with. I think Jake Chaney's another guy that I really enjoy watching play, and you can put him in a lot of different situations. But Hunter Wooler, just for being there from the start today, he was trying his best.
He brought his energy.
He was trying his best to bring the energy for everybody else.
Chris Orr, we go to you.
Oh, this is tough. I think I'm going to split my game ball. I think I'm going to split it up.
Okay.
I'm going to give it to two backers. I'm going to give it to Muma and Jake. It might not have reflected in the stat sheet, but those two guys played a really good game today. I think you saw Muma flash more when Coach Tressel sent him and allowed him to be more aggressive. I think Jake has put together 2 back-to-back weeks of consistency. You know what you're going to get from him. He's a firecracker in there. He's a plugger. I just think we got to find some way to get Muma, Jake, and JT on the field at the same time and keep them on the field.
Yeah.
I love the fact that I remember telling people before the season that Hunter Wooler was going to have a big year, especially in his new defense, because he's able to roam. He's up by the line of scrimmage, back as well. He can do so many different things. He's super talented, uber talented player. But I'm going to go Muma and Jake.
I like that. The linebackers for Chris Orr. Hunter Vaughn, our producer here. You got one as well?
I do, and I've got to go to the other team that was out on the field.
Okay.
Cam Ward. He single-handedly kept Washington State. He won in the game and won them the game with his mobility and the way he could move around in the pocket and just refuse to go down. He was the reason that Wisconsin lost this game.
He was pretty solid last year, but he was much, much better this year. You got to give him credit for improving, and that team, better team this year than they were last year. They obviously fed off all that energy, and Cam Ward, it's hard to get that guy in the pocket. He had a couple plays where you're like, oh, God, we almost had him. He's a difficult guy to go against. That was Game Balls. We figured it out. Game Balls presented by Liberty Station. Hey, our friends at Liberty Station, American Tavern and Smokehouse, are running a shuttle program during home games this football season. For just $15, you can catch a ride to and from the big game and enjoy a beer along the way. Continue your fun at Liberty Station and enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks. Liberty Station, located off the Beltline on Rimrock Road. We shift towards the closure of this very program. We got one more segment. We're going to get into some interesting talks. How has your expectation and perspective changed on the remainder of this Badger football season? How has your expectation of where this team will end up at the end of the season changed? How has your perspective on the coaching staff changed? We will get into that and more next. It's ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Bandana? Check. Boots? Check. Gloves? Check. As a motorcycle rider in Wisconsin, you may go to great lengths to protect your image. Just be sure you're protecting yourself, too. Wear a Department of Transportation approved helmet. Perform safety checks on your motorcycle. Know the traffic laws and don't take risks. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov.
Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
For anybody that's looking at this in some, we are the Green Bay Packers, and we have a birthright of having a great franchise quarterback that's going to lead our team to playoffs year in, year out. We don't know that yet.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Grassland Dairy, Hallman Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we commit to full transparency in everything we do. Because we're a fiduciary, we strive for the highest industry standards and on our ethical duty to put your best interests first. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape, creating a personalized wealth management experience. Care, competence, and clarity isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Braylon Allen here for Iron Jock Performance Gear and Apparel. You know why Iron Jock says it's what's inside? It's the technology, the four-way stretch, fit, and feel, the science that is built into the fabric. This isn't any ordinary clothing that you wear 5 times and the fabric breaks down. Iron Jock is tested and proven to kill 99.9% of the bacteria for the lifetime of the gear. It'll feel as new after 75 washes as it did the day you got it. Get yours at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
Hey, it's Stacy Bruner from Bruner Realty. People have been telling me that buying a home is nothing to joke about, so instead of telling you another real estate joke, I'm going to have somebody else do it.
Jesse Nelson here. Why did the house go see its doctor? It had a window pane.
Come on, Jesse, this is no laughing matter.
Well, when it's time to get serious about buying or selling, that's when people should do what we did and work with you.
Contact us at BrunerRealtyInc.com. Bruner Realty, homes to appreciate.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
We're on the Packers.
Jordan Love is going to be fine.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
I don't have any kind of lack of faith that Jordan Love is not going to be a good quarterback in the NFL.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
Closing out the program here, ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light, reacting to a 31-22 loss to the Washington State Cougars in Pullman. Wisconsin Badgers fall to 1-1. Tough road loss today. Colin Russo, Adam Mertz, former Badgers Chris Orr, and Brad Nortman here with you to close you out. Hopefully send you to bed. It's been a long one for us, but it's been a lot of fun. We've enjoyed it, talking about the ups and the downs of the Wisconsin Badgers. It's ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame, brought to you in part by Ortho and Spine Centers of Wisconsin. Actives and inactives on the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is brought to you by the Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin. Their physicians have been treating patients in the Madison area for over 2 decades. They specialize in a wide range of areas, including sports medicine, joint replacement, spine, and more. Convenient and accessible with appointments available within 24 hours. Get back to being active and doing what you love. Visit orthospinecenters.com. We roll on. I want to ask you guys really quickly before we close out here, your updated and revised perspective on our record to close out the year. I was initially a 10-win guy, I think I've shifted down to 8. Brad Nortman, your updated scoring, your old one and your new one.
I was a 10-win guy as well. We even discussed on this program what would be disappointing. And we said, I think we all agreed 8 or less. I'm at 8.
Yeah. You're an 8 too?
I'm at 8.
Adam Mertz, your revised thoughts.
Yeah, I hate to be a downer on it, but the reality is that I am worried. I'm worried about this team. I'm at 8.
8?
I'm at 8. I was thinking 9. I was thinking
you
9.
were at 9.
I was
right?
hoping for 10, but I'm down to 8.
You were hoping 10, thinking 9.
I thought they were going to get this one.
Now you're thinking 8.
I thought they were going to get this one. So I guess mine hasn't changed that much.
But definitely, probably.
But I thought they were going to get this one.
One blow. Yeah.
I think I was in the same boat. I think I was thinking 9, hoping 10. I could definitely see 10. Now I'm at 8, maybe even 7.
You're down to 7?
Maybe, possibly.
You gonna find 5 losses somewhere?
Hey man, all I'm just saying is if you take these first 2 weeks and you stack them up against our first 2 weeks of the opponents that we have left on our schedule, don't look too good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we showed up like we did last week or this week against Iowa,
almost anybody.
Well, I mean, because what would Washington State be in the Big Ten? They'd probably be somewhere middle of the pack.
Yeah,
and we play plenty of those teams, and not to mention
like
great
Purdue.
teams.
Yep. Yeah, I think they'd be. I think you compare them to like Purdue.
Wow. I don't know about that. That 7 seems pessimistic, but
No,
maybe I'm still being optimistic.
Like a possibility. I see 8.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be shocked.
You
to
still
see
got
7.
Purdue, you got Rutgers, you got Iowa, Illinois, Ohio State, Nebraska, Northwestern. I mean, Minnesota.
Oh. Yeah.
You always forget about
No,
that.
I know. You never forget
That
about
game.
that. You better go get that X back.
With your 7 wins?
Yeah, it's involved. You better go get that back.
However many wins, you got to get that win.
You can have one win.
We'll
It better be that win.
Yeah, one more game the rest of the year for Chris Orr, as long as it's getting the axe back. We send you off into the night on a beautiful Sunday morning here. Adam Mertz's birthday. We gave him a special happy birthday, 51 years of age for Adam Mertz. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brought to you in part by Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers and big opportunities. Since 1962, Stoughton Trailers has been a family-owned and operated business. With collaboration, innovation, and dynamic team atmosphere, Stoughton Trailers is an exciting place to grow your career. Go to stojobs.com to apply today. Stoughton Trailers, big trailers, big opportunity. The Badgers, hopefully next week is a little different. We are at home, 11 a.m. kickoff, so we'll be with you early. We'll be at a 9 a.m. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day pregame. Brad Norton, listen to him, 2 to 5, KBN, premiering then. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. See ya!
Dwayne Nolden is the owner of Middleton Power Center. They have HP network printers from James Imaging Systems. Dwayne, the James slogan is your local office technology partner.
You know, we've got the power as our